Good morning. Please welcome the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus performing Singing for Our Lives.
We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives.
We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are trans and cis together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, we are angry, we are young and we are old. We are gay, straight, trans, it's the land of many colors. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing. Yes, we're still singing, and we will keep on singing, because we're singing
Please welcome Chris Verdugo, Executive Director, San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus.
Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, and about a tenth of our singing membership who's here with us, it is an honor to welcome you to our new home for the Mayor's first State of the City address. As we began to envision this space over a year ago, our intention became clear. We wanted to create a center where LGBTQ artists and organizations could come together, a space where they could collaborate and incubate new works, an affordable and safe space, a place to present master classes and lecture series, and also to host middle and high school age students with our educational programs, Rhythm, Reaching Youth Through Music, and the It Gets Better showcase. A venue that would house a state-of-the-art broadcast facility so that we could transmit these incredible, transformational, and inspiring events to a global audience. A space that espouses the San Francisco values of diversity, acceptance, equality, entrepreneurship, and creativity. A home where art and activism come together. And it is my honor to welcome you to that space today. Our new home and the nation's first ever LGBTQ Center for the Arts is a continuation of what began over 40 years ago on the City Hall steps. That moment when 99 men raised their voices in anger and sadness, but also in hope, singing the song that you just heard, singing for our lives, and thereby sparking an LGBTQ arts movement that would eventually span 5 continents. That's why this isn't just our home, it is a home for all of the San Francisco arts community and the nation. And no one understands this better than the mayor. As the executive director of the African American Arts and Culture Complex, she transformed the struggling center into a vital, sustainable community resource. She understands, yes. She understands that arts and culture are at the forefront of social change. And we are honored she chose our new home for her first State of the City address. Please join me in welcoming Mayor London Breed.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus for opening up their new home, this amazing national LGBTQ Center for the Arts. What I love about this center is that this chorus has invested their time and resources in creating something beautiful, not just for themselves, but for the entire LGBTQ and arts community around the country. This is a place that celebrates what is best about San Francisco. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. For too long, our city has been the subject of a drumbeat of negative media attention, national stories claiming that San Francisco has lost its way. How our streets are dangerous slums, our housing unobtainable, how tech workers and locals battle for our city's soul. Like most convenient narratives, there are elements of truth here. We have failed to build enough housing. We do face a homeless crisis. And we grapple with mental health and substance use on our streets. Of course, we acknowledge the challenges we face. The question is, what do we do next? Hang our head and give up? Concede our problems are too great and the soul of our city is lost? Well, anybody who thinks that's what we'll do knows nothing about this city. This is San Francisco. We don't throw up our hands, we take to our feet. We don't wait for guidance, we light the way. This is a city that knows how, the innovation capital of the world. The national leader on LGBT and immigrant rights, environmental protections, healthcare, and so many other causes. The place where Maya Angelou rang cable car bells. And a girl from public housing became mayor. Our congresswoman is Speaker of the House. Our former mayor just became governor. Another is California's senior senator. The state's lieutenant governor, controller, and treasurer are all San Franciscans. And our former district attorney, Kamala Harris, could even be the next president. It's time that our city holds its head up high again. It's time we believe again. Yes, we have our challenges. I see them every day, just like you. I'm frustrated just like you, about the issues that face our city. But I'm also motivated because there is no problem we can't solve together, no challenge we won't face together. There is, as President Clinton said, nothing wrong with San Francisco that can't be fixed with what's right about San Francisco. Homelessness in San Francisco has for decades been described as a sad reality, an impossible problem, just part of our city. I don't accept that. Just a few years ago, you only had to walk a few blocks from City Hall to see tent encampments lining our sidewalks, covering whole blocks on Division Street. Today, those large tent encampments are gone. That's partly because we have been working to build more shelters, more housing, and help more people. In the last 6 months since I've been in office, we've built 3 navigation centers with 338 beds, the fastest expansion of shelter beds our city has seen in decades. And we've helped nearly 1,000 people exit homelessness. 1,000 people in 6 months. Yes, we have a long way to go and so much work to do, but we are making a difference in people's lives. When we opened up the Bryan Street Navigation Center earlier this month, I met a woman who had just moved in. She's battling addiction and breast cancer. On the streets, her medication kept getting stolen. She couldn't get healthy. Now she's inside and she's working on getting housing. At Bryan Street, she gave me a hug and she said she's hopeful. And so am I. If she has hope, others can too. That is a difference. She's excited about the future and I'm excited for her. If she can have a hope, then others can too. I've already announced my plan to add 1,000 shelter beds by 2020, enough to clear the shelter bed wait list. We also are declaring a shelter crisis so we can get these shelter beds built now. And I want to thank Supervisors Brown, Haney, Mandelman, Supervisor Stephanie and Walton for joining me in recognizing our bureaucracy shouldn't stand in a way of one single 1,000 beds. This is a huge step, we know, but it's not enough. We know we have around 4,000 unsheltered people in our city sleeping in our streets, in our parks, in doorways, or in vehicles. We know that it's a travesty, but it's one we can take on. In the next 4 years, I want to create enough shelter beds, step-up housing units, homeless housing units, and housing subsidies for every person who is currently unsheltered. That's 4,000 more placements for people. No more excuses, no more status quo. And let's be clear, every part of our city, every neighborhood must be open to being part of the solution. And to get there, we must move forward with my proposal for our windfall funding, $185 million for homelessness, behavioral health, and affordable housing. With this investment, we can add 310 new shelter beds, 300 units of housing by master leasing units, freeing up hundreds of beds in our shelter system. Complete funding for a 255-unit building for homeless seniors and adults, and get started on hundreds more. Now, I know there are other budget priorities, and they are important, but let's be clear. Every dollar we take away from what I've proposed is one fewer bed, one lost home, one more person on the streets. I will continue to work with Board President Norman Yee and the Board of Supervisors on how best to use this funding and to address homelessness in our city. It won't be easy, but working together, we can tackle any impossible problem. Yet the crisis on our streets isn't just about homelessness. The people injecting drugs, the people suffering from mental illness, they need more than just housing. Often they are actually housed. These people need help. Since I took office, we've added 50 mental health stabilization beds, and I'm committed to opening up 100 more this year. Our Healthy Streets Operations Center is out every day helping those suffering from substance use disorder, getting them connected to treatment and shelter, to help those who are truly suffering get real treatment. I partner with Supervisor Raphael Mandelman on conservatorship legislation, because when people can't care for themselves, we have to do better, and we have to care for them. But we have to revamp our entire approach to mental health. To bring together all of our mental health programs under one focus, I'm creating a director of mental health reform. This person will be responsible for better coordination of mental health care for those suffering in our city. This person, he or she, will strengthen the programs we have that are working, and yes, cut the ineffective programs, because clearly there are things in this city that just aren't working and shouldn't continue to be funded. We need to build people's lives, not shuffle them from emergency room to emergency room, from jail cell to jail cell. Our criminal justice system is not a mental health solution. And to do all this, we need vision and leadership. So today, I'm announcing that I've hired a new director of the Department of Public Health, Dr. Grant Koufax. Dr. Koufax is one of our own. Trained at UCSF, he worked at the Department of Public Health as the Director of HIV Prevention and Research before leaving to join the Obama White House as the Director of National AIDS Policy. He knows our city and its challenges, and he is ready to get to work. And he knows that we need to get to zero HIV infections in San Francisco. We need to reach our most vulnerable populations, particularly our African American and Latino communities who are not seeing their HIV infections rates drop as others do. This means getting everyone, and I mean everyone, access to services, treatment, and preventative medications like PrEP. And I'm confident Dr. Koufax will get us to our goals. We're also confronting San Francisco's other allegedly impossible problem, housing. Housing. We have to produce and preserve housing and keep people in their homes. I will continue to support the right to civil counsel, which we funded in last year's budget with $5.8 million. So every tenant who needs a lawyer can get one. And through our small sites acquisition program, we will keep fighting to preserve rent-controlled buildings to keep people in neighborhoods secure. People like Miss Wu, a 99-year-old woman who's been living in the same building in the Richmond district for the past 30 years. Her building was going up for sale, threatening her home and that of every senior who lived there. I met Ms. Wu with Supervisor Fewer when I visited her home, the building that we helped purchase and make permanently affordable, ensuring Ms. Wu and her neighbors wouldn't have to worry about where they were gonna live. And as we keep people in their homes, we have to build more new housing. Lots more. In 2018, the city built around 3,000 homes. That's not nearly enough. We have to get better. And that's why I've already hired a housing delivery director to deliver projects faster and implement policy reforms that cut the time to get permits in half. I have directed the department to end the backlog of hundreds of in-law units and make it easier for people to build them going forward, and pass legislation to prevent the loss of thousands of units in the pipeline. If we're going to be a San Francisco for all, we need to be a San Francisco that builds housing for all. That's why I'm moving forward with the $300 million affordable housing bond so we can continue to invest in badly needed affordable housing. Across our city, we have projects like the Balboa Upper Yard in Supervisor Safai's district that are ready to build. That's 131 units that just needs funding. But it's not just about investing. We have to break the barriers to building housing so our dollars go further and we get housing built faster. So today, I'm announcing a charter amendment for this November's election to make all affordable housing and teacher housing as of right in San Francisco. If an affordable housing or teacher housing project is proposed within zoning, then build it, and build it now. No more bureaucracy. No more bureaucracy, no more costly appeals, no more not in my neighborhood. It's simple, affordable housing as a right because housing affordability is a right. This is how we create housing for all San Franciscans. And I will continue to work with our state legislators, our regional partners, our new governor, because housing affordability isn't just a San Francisco issue. It's a crisis throughout the state of California. We won't always see the results of these efforts immediately. It may take some years to see some changes. But then if we had started building more aggressively 20 years ago, we wouldn't be in the situation we are in today. We might have inherited a problem decades in the making, but we cannot be the ones who pass it on to the next generation. And as we grow, we must make our streets clean and our communities safe. Since my first day in office, I've been out walking our neighborhoods. Drug use, psychosis, and human feces on our streets is not okay. It's not healthy. And while there's much more to do, we're working every day to stop it. It's no secret I put in a lot of focus in the Tenderloin and the South of Market. I'm committed to improving these neighborhoods. So far, we've doubled the number of beat officers in mid-market. We've added pit stops, big belly trash cans, and street cleaners. We've increased enforcement against drug dealing and expanded outreach by our Healthy Streets Operations Center. I know we have more to do, but people are starting to see a difference. Families are coming to the new playgrounds at Civic Center. I met a young family with 2 small children who came from the Sunset. They told me just a year ago they never would have gone to the playgrounds there. Too dirty, too run down, too many needles. Now the playgrounds, the new cafe, are all a part of their Saturday. This is a start. a first step towards making our public spaces clean and safe. We have also seen our investments in community policing yield results. Last year, we had an 18% drop in homicides, which coincides with a major reduction in gun violence for the second year in a row. In fact, we had a 25% increase in firearms seized and a 35% decrease in gun violence. To put it simply, more guns off the streets, fewer crimes and homicides involving guns. We also had a 9% reduction in property crimes, including an 18% drop in car break-ins and a 13% drop in car thefts. We are at last reversing the car break-in epidemic. Through the great work of our police department, we are making a difference on violent crimes and property crimes. More officers in our neighborhoods and investments in cleaner, safer streets are all important. But as we address these issues today, we also have to think about how to prevent them from happening in the future. We have to confront the root causes of crime and addiction, which means addressing inequity and poverty. Last year, working with Public Defender Jeff Adachi and Treasurer Jose Cisneros, we made San Francisco the first city in the country to eliminate punitive, wasteful courts, fines, and fees. These fees did nothing more than drive people into poverty or worse, back into prison. And we will continue our work to give the next generation opportunities and prevent them from ending up in the criminal justice system in the first place. We are growing our City Build program to address the shortage of construction workers and get people good paying jobs. We are launching City Drive program to train new Muni drivers and help us get more buses and trains on the streets to get San Franciscans where they need to go faster. We have Tech SF, Healthcare Academy, and Hospitality Initiative, all of which train people to work in our city. And as a former city intern, who at 14 proudly worked at a nonprofit, answering phones and helping young families and doing paperwork, I am particularly proud to have launched Opportunities for All, so that we can get every high school student in San Francisco a paid internship. Because unlike the president in this town, we pay people when they go to work. This program will help our kids now to earn money, to learn new skills, to keep them from going down the wrong path. These young people will be exposed to opportunities they never knew existed. They could see a future in an industry they never had access to. They could see themselves making a difference in a world in a way they never thought possible. They will flourish, and we will grow our workforce right here in San Francisco. And we will continue to lead the way on so many other important issues. We will protect the environment and fight climate change. Yesterday, we all know PG&E declared bankruptcy, and there's a lot of talk about what this could mean, but let's talk about what we know. San Francisco knows how to run a clean power system, and we are going to get to 100% renewable energy by 2030. And if this bankruptcy provides an opportunity for public power, Supervisor Peskin, we will take it. I will be working with City Attorney Dennis Herrera and of course Supervisor Peskin to make sure that whatever happens to PG&E, we are prepared. And I'm also working with City Attorney Herrera to address questions around the testing at the Hunters Point Shipyard project. We need to be clear and transparent with the public about this project. Along with Supervisor Walton, we have requested that UCSF and UC Berkeley put together an independent team to review the procedures for the retesting of parcels A and G. These are trusted institutions. They will provide an independent analysis so the public can feel confident in the results. We also have to break this gridlock that's on our streets and create a more functioning transportation system. People may continue to choose to drive in San Francisco, but that can't be their only choice. I will work with Supervisor Peskin on a measure that will charge our ride-hail companies to relieve congestion on our streets. We have to keep pushing forward street safety and Vision Zero projects, including building protected bike lanes on our high injury corridors, like the one that we're building right outside on Valencia Street that made it so hard for you to get here. We will also continue investing in helping our transgender residents with housing and services, and to those in Washington, D.C. who continue to try and erase transgender people, it won't work, not here in San Francisco. And now, more than ever, as the president continues to fearmonger about walls and slander our immigrant communities, San Francisco is proud to stand as a sanctuary city. We are a city that's surrounded by bridges, not divided by walls, and we will stay that way. When I took the oath of office 6 months ago, I never pretended I could solve all of our problems. I believed we could solve them working together. I believed in a government for all of us, and I still believe. We are working to turn the tide, and I hope every San Franciscan can feel the difference. When you see our public works crews out power washing the sidewalks and picking up trash, I hope you feel the difference. When you see our police officers walking the beats in the neighborhoods and talking to the merchants and the residents, I hope you feel the difference. When you see our homeless outreach team and public health workers helping people suffering on our streets, I hope you feel the difference. When you see a new shelter open, a new affordable housing project go up, or a new bike lane that gets finished, I hope you smile and feel the difference. I hope you believe with me that you hold your head high and take pride in our city and what we can do together, because we are San Francisco. We will meet these challenges, and we will continue to light a better way for the future of our city. Thank you all so much for being here today.